Another game ticks off the calendar for the Devils. They are defeated 4-1 in Ottawa, and the Devils will now head home, getting ready for the Columbus Blue Jackets. And Chico, as we said just a moment ago, this game was not a 4-1 game. That was the final score, obviously, but it was a tight one. Devils just couldn't score on the power play, nor could they find a way just to get over that hill.
Well, we talked about it. Everybody here knows. Ottawa scores 2 power play goals. Devils 0 for 5. I mean, that was the difference. Because they had I cannot tell you why the Devils can't score. They did a lot of good things. They had a lot of chances. Nico Hischier had 3 good shots. He looked a little tired. I mean, he played a lot, Matty, but he never got the puck on the top part of the net. It was always halfway up or down. And Ullmark, with that fancy quick glove of his, made a couple of dandy saves on him.
And one on the power play, one of the power plays. The Devils just 1 shot on their first 3 power plays, and that was the one from Nico Hischier. Let's check out some highlights. We're going to hear from head coach Sheldon Keefe, and we hope to get reaction from the Devils dressing room before we say goodbye and wrap things up. And it was the Devils in Ottawa for the second time this season. The big story, Linus Ullmark returning to goal for the Ottawa Senators for the first time since December 27th. Took a personal leave of absence, and he came back to a warm applause and support from his team. At 6:32, Tyler Clevin was called for a high stick. Devils didn't score. At 10:05, Claude Giroux was called for a slash. Devils didn't score. At 12:24, Brett Pesce was called for a trip, and Ottawa took the lead. 50 seconds to go in the kill. Batherson goes cross ice. Tkachuk scores. Brady Tkachuk from the far circle went far side, and it's 1-0. His 14th goal of the season at 13:38. Ottawa in front by 1.
Yeah, that was the name of the game. You know, Allen coming across, shot back where he came from. Wasn't aimed there by Tkachuk, but it certainly was the right place for the puck to go for them to get that first goal.
Ullmark made a save on Arseni Gritsuk to keep it 1-0, but before the period was over, the Devils got an opportunity and took advantage of it. Shot from the blue line by Hamilton, stopped by Ullmark. After the rebound, his Glass jabs at it, picks it up behind the net, feeds one to the bottom of the far circle, and the Devils score. Glass with a terrific play and a quick shot from the bottom of the far circle, and Timo Meier ties it at 1. His 14th goal, as Cody Glass and Connor Brown picked up the helpers at 18-16. And okay, the Devils outshot them 11-9. The game was tied at 1, but things started to turn around in the second period.
Yeah, Matty, it's remained tied, but the Senators just seemed to have a little more oomph going in that second period.
Yeah, they outshot the Devils 12-7, but neither team scored. That's because the goalies were doing their things, like Jake Allen on Drake Batherson. The second power play for Ottawa. They control the draw. It's Sanderson with it out high. Moves into the circle. Drops it off to Batherson. Goes cross ice. Now here's a centering pass. Cousins down low for Batherson, who's denied. He was open on a tip, but Jake Allen came over and did his job. Unfortunately, Jake has not found the winning side in a while. Now 1 for 5 with tonight's loss in his last 6 starts, but no fault tonight, really. As you said during the course of the game, he couldn't score. He could just try to keep the puck out of the net, and if the Devils don't score, you know what are you going to do? It's life with the New Jersey Devils. Right. Later in the period, it was Linus Ullmark with his best save of the night. Now Gritsuk looks for Hamanaho, or check that Meier, and it's cleared.
Here we go.
Oh, here's a chance. Here's Hamilton. Oh, wrister, and it's glove by Ullmark. Best save of the night. Yeah, because Dougie was in a great scoring position.
Well, he had scored there the other night. A high slot and going right upstairs, off the ear of Linus Ullmark. Oh, and he just throws that glove up and robs him. And, you know, that kind of epitomized the tough situation the Devils had to try to overcome to get that second goal.
After 2, Devils 0 for 3 on the power play. Ottawa 1 for 2. The game was tied at 1. turning point, though, comes 18 seconds into the period. Jonas Siegenthaler called for a hook. Didn't take long. It was a bit of a lucky bounce, but it did give Ottawa the lead. Cousins checked by Pesce. Dylan there to help behind the net as it comes loose. It's Ottawa with it. Batherson to the blue line. Sanderson for Tkachuk. Tees went up. Blocker save made, and the rebound goes home. Pesce was battling with Dylan Cousins, and it was Ottawa that won the battle. And he had the position, too. It was just a funny bounce for the power play goal for Dylan Cousins, his 18th goal of the season.
Well, I'm sure Jake Allen thought, I've got this. Takes his blocker, bunts it out, but it hits Cousins right in the gloves. Now, if you know anything, fans about hockey, it could bounce a bunch of different ways. But what does it do? It bounces right down, right in the crease, right in front of Cousins, and then all he had to do was shovel it in. And poor Pesce battling with him, doing everything. He knows it's critical. Jake Allen making the save. He knows it's critical. But the bounce of the puck worked against the Devils, and that was turned out to be the winning goal.
Yep, Cousins with his 18th, as I mentioned, 37 seconds in. Brady Tkachuk and not Jeff Sanderson, but Jake Sanderson. That's an old school reference. The father of Jake Sanderson, now working in the Devils organization, played, 18, 19 years in the league. Anyway, 37 seconds into the third, it was a 2-1 Ottawa lead. So as we move further along, Nico Hischier had a chance. You talked about one of his many opportunities. This was one that, he would have liked to have lifted it a little higher. But Stützle goes wide. Now here's Hischier with a slap shot save made as Ullmark was able to kick it aside. And so Hischier's slapper is turned aside by Linus Ullmark. Let's check in with the head coach.
Tonight, was it just an instance where the team wasn't able to execute, or did you not think that they were creating enough on those 5 chances?
We scored one, I think, as you saw at the end of the game. Nico was in all alone in the second period on the goaltender. So, Ottawa did a good job. The way they pressure, they're not going to give you a great deal of volume, but you're going to get some high-end chances. We got them, didn't make good on them, but not good enough on both either power play or penalty kill. Obviously, like I said, I think we feel like we have the game tied at 2 because of the power play. So, for a moment there, you're pretty happy with how it comes through in such a big moment. But that one got taken from us. But, special teams are certainly the difference here tonight. Not just the execution on the special teams, but how it led there. The penalty that we take to start the third period, puck play before that, that's the kind of stuff that gets you beat.
Well, Sean, you look at a game like this, and is that what you're really reflecting on? It's just the little details inside the game that you guys just let get away from you so that you were putting yourself in a hole? Even though the game was close, it was one shot, but still, talk about just little details that really make you guys pay the price.
Listen, we played a good hockey game today. There's no questions. We talked this morning about we got to play a good hockey game in 5-on-5 and get the edge on special teams. I thought we played a good game at 5-on-5. We had some puck play, like I said, that in key moments I thought gave them some life and momentum. Start of the second period, end of the second period, and start of the third period led to us taking the power play that they score, or the penalty that they score on in the power play. But save for that, I thought we were right there. We just, we're in the hockey game and we had some chances. We could have very easily either won that game or certainly got it to overtime. But yeah, so it's a mistake here or there that they made good on, or a power play that they made good on, and that's ultimately the difference. But we played a fine hockey game today.
What did you think of the off goal? Was that the right call, or?
Well, it's the league's call, so therefore it's the right call. It's not I don't get to make the calls. Obviously, as I see it, Connor's making a play on it to put the puck down, and he's about to put it in the wide open empty net, and then their goaltender puts it in for him. If the goalie doesn't make a play on the puck and shoot in the net himself, then Connor puts it in, in a wide open net. So that's a tough one. I guess that is the rule. The goalie's playing his position, but I feel like that in that case, it's obviously we're not going to love the interpretation of that rule because it's an empty net goal for Brownie if the goalie doesn't do what he did. So that's a tough bounce to not go our way.
What did you see in the PK? Just a couple breakdowns that led to their goals, or was something bigger, indicative?
Obviously they're both a little different. They're just not good enough.
What do you think of Cody Glass's effort, particularly on the Timo Meier goal, the net front and the battle?
Yeah, I thought Glasser was great again today. Really good in the face-off dot. For him, first game coming back. From being hobbled, there and an injury to miss last game. I thought Jack's absence today, he took on a lot of different roles and responsibilities and did a nice job. But yeah, certainly the effort on that goal was a great one.
Thanks, Sheldon.
Thanks, Sheldon.
Devils head coach Sheldon Keefe concluding his post-game news conference, and thanks to our friends at MSG Networks for letting us listen in. So we'll get your reaction to some of the things he said, but let's conclude our highlight look.
Okay.
Talk, of course, about the goal that was not. The Devils trying to tie it up. They get a power play at the 15-minute mark of the third period. Tyler Klevenoff for an interference, and here's what happened. 1:05 to go in the power play. Passing, no shots. Now it's Brett with it for Hamilton. The one-timer, it deflects, glove down by Brown. He jams it home. He gloved it down right in front of the net, and he put it home. It's a power play goal, and the Devils have tied it at 2.
Now they're going to talk about it, and I think it's a goal.
Yeah, I think they might be saying, did he glove it and carry it? Did he close his hand on the puck? Well, the review goes on here. I don't know if we can get more critical from a Devils perspective.
No.
We're either tied or we've got under 4 minutes to go and the Devils are down a goal. They've done the review, and here's the call.
After video review, it was determined that there was a hand pass deflected by goalie stick. No goal.
And so that was the play of the game, brought to you by Prudential, the Devils' official financial services partner. Devils don't score on the remaining time of the power play. Ottawa scores at 17:53 to make it 3-1, and added an empty netter to make it 4-1. The rule is Rule 67.6. A goal cannot be scored by an attacking player who bats or directs the puck with his hand into the net. A goal cannot be scored by an attacking player who bats or directs the puck and it is deflected into the net off any player, goalkeeper, or official. And it did go in off of Linus Ullmark.
Yeah, you can't argue with the call, Matty. It's just crushing for the Devils. It wasn't a goal, but it was a right call.
And you heard Sheldon talk about, we played a fine game, but you lose. What's that like?
I mean, it's terrible. Like, Ullmark was good, but I just know Nico Hischier. He has 3 chances, really good chances. You could say, well, you just didn't do the little details. What you didn't do, and he did it, if he did it the other night on that slapper in overtime, he hit the spot upstairs. If he didn't do it tonight, those are the little details, the accuracy of the shot. And I know Nico's trying, but he just didn't seem to have that top shelf shot going, and there were other players as well, and I think that's what did the Devils in. They had some chances. Ullmark was really good, and they wouldn't have got many on him, but with all the goal-scoring opportunities, you thought they would have got one more, but no.
No, they did not. Hischier missed the morning skate, ill, good enough to play, 22 minutes, 27 seconds of ice time, 3 shots, 4 were attempted and blocked. He won 55% of his faceoffs. He took 29. Mm-hmm. So you can't say the captain didn't give the effort. But it was in a losing effort, however, as the Devils will try to regroup for Columbus on Tuesday night. Cody Glass won 15 of 21 faceoffs. Again, it doesn't matter in a loss. 7 shots for Dougie Hamilton to lead the way. He had 6 that were blocked, and his point-scoring streak comes to an end. And so Ottawa with the W, the Devils still 7 points out of a playoff spot. Before we go, let's hear what Johnny Kovacevic had to say.
Kovy, where things break down on the PK, the 2 power play goals that they end up getting on you guys?
I'd have to take a closer look on the PK goals. I know the first one, there was a low seam. That's hard, for the goalie anytime they cross us like that. So that was the first one. The second one, I'm going to have to take another look. It might have just been a bad bounce. I know Tkachuk shot was a rebound. I couldn't see what happened after that.
Disappointing all the more because at the end of that third period, it was a 1-1 game, pretty much even up. I mean, could have gone either way.
Yeah, it was a similar storyline to last game, and so that's why I felt confident even when we went down 2-1. We did give them a little too much at the end of the day. Yeah, it was a special teams game. They got to on their power play. So yeah, we got to clean some things up.
What about defensively? It seemed like you pretty much swallowed them up at 5-on-5. Are you happy with the 5-on-5 play list?
For myself personally, not really. I thought, there's a couple shifts where I could have been better defensively. Like you said, they didn't score 5-on-5, but I wouldn't say satisfied. Definitely not after losses, for sure.
Were you guys just not able to capitalize on your chances? In the sense, like your really good chances, like were Ottawa kind of tonight? Would you say?
Yeah. It was obviously it was a razor tight game. Like obviously it comes down to one chance here or there. It was 2-1 for most of the game. Obviously things opened up near the end, but that could definitely be the storyline for sure.
And then obviously on the off goal, I don't know if you were able to see it or if you did the ref's explanation on that.
Yeah, I couldn't see if Brownie did touch it after, because I know he caught it. I couldn't see if he got it touched with a stick or not. So yeah, again, it's hard to see when on the jumbotron the things are going quick, so I'm not too sure.
But it was the right call. He may not have seen it. We have had a chance to take a look at it a number of times, and it was the right call. Olmark trying to keep it out. He put it in. Turned out to be the right play.
Isn't that amazing, Matty? He kind of makes a mistake, but it turns out to be the right play.
As Connor Brown's apparent game-tying goal was called off after review, and then Ottawa goes on to the 4-1 victory. Coincidence or not, and hopefully Jack's back in the lineup on Tuesday. It appears as if it's just a minor injury, and they feel he'll be on the ice in the near term. Could be Monday for practice. Hopefully it is. Devils 0 for 3 against Nashville on the power play. 0 for 5 tonight against Ottawa in Jack's absence. They were 5 for 9 in the previous 3 with Jack. I'm not saying he's responsible for all of that, but he certainly has an important part of it.
Yes, he does. And, there was really only one power play goal by the Senators that was a breakdown. The other one was a tremendously bad break, the second power play goal. The first one was a cross-ice pass, and, that one you want to maybe try to prevent. But the other one, no chance. But you think the Devils would get a break like that? You think, no. It hit somebody in front, a screen. Omar might pop one out and hit, like one of our guys, like it did Cousins, and bounce down, and we'd score. It just no puck luck, Matty, in either end tonight.
Devils lose by a score of 4-1. Back home for Tuesday's game against Columbus, and our coverage in that matchup against the Blue Jackets will be heard right here on the Devils Hockey Network.